Hello, my beautiful wildflowers. How are you today? Alexis here with Haute Modesty. Well, it's kind of dark in here. It's because it's early in the morning. And why is it so early in the morning? And why am I doing up? Well, aside from the fact that I have to pray. But what I wanted to do was record my AM skincare routine for you so you can see how I start my day. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, my beautiful wildflowers. As I was saying, I will go ahead and share my skincare routine with you, and this is what I do every morning, okay? And this is the products that I typically use on most of the days, unless of course I'm trying some new products. And I'm not trying anything new for the morning right now, so this is actually my routine. And I hope you enjoy it, but before we do that, we have to do an affirmation card, and today we're gonna do You Got This, okay? And this is not a box that I do often. I say that about a couple of the boxes, but it is true. I don't know why that is, but I think the other ones just draw me, so I do them. So anyway, let's see what we have today. Okay, it's a pretty card with wildflowers and a butterfly. I like that, okay? And this one is by Dolly Parton. You remember her, right? She was the country music, superstar in the late 70s and 80s into the 90s. I think she's like close to her 80s now, but I know she still looks really good. But yeah, let's see what she had to say. She said, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. That sounds like her. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. And so, yeah, how true, Dolly. That is so true. And sometimes, some of us really complain about the path that you're on and the road that we're on, but we don't do anything about it. We just keeping going on the same road that we're not happy with. Why is that? Well, I think a lot of the reasons is because we fear change. And sometimes it's a lot more comfortable being on a path that you know and be a little bit unhappy about it than being on a path that we don't know. And we don't, we all fear one thing, that is the unknown. That is our number one fear, the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. So we just rather, stay where we are. You heard the saying, what is it? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And I think that, there's a lot to be said about that because I don't typically agree with that, depending on the situation. Because if the devil that you know is really bad, well, guess what? You need to at least try to see if the other devil is worse or maybe not a devil at all, right? And so you have to take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I really like this. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. And I even I have a problem doing that, but I do typically start looking when I start feeling that, that pull, that, I'm not so happy in this path. What can I do? How can I go forward and get on a path that I'm happier with? And sometimes it's like trial and error. I'll step off one path, to be honest with you, and get on another one and go, oh, whoa, this is not good at all. So instead of walking back to the old path, I quickly look for a new path. Try not to go backwards if you can at all, right? And another times too, something that I've been thinking about, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and one of the things is when people are, even they're so miserable, they fear change so much, they'd rather be in that painful situation. And a good example, I'll tell you, a couple of good examples, right? In life, you see abused women that are abused by their, other half. Whomever they might be, husbands, boyfriends, significant others. And then they have a hard time leaving that relationship, even though it's painful and sometimes very violent. And the return rate, even if that person leaves, that return rate is still very high, going back to the abuser. You would think, why would you do that? You got out because that's what they know. And that's called the beaten dog syndrome. And this is kind of sort of like it. That's a severe example of, you know, getting off the path you don't like and, you know, pave yourself another road. But I mean, it is true. And it's truly sad because the chances of that person coming out of that relationship is very small. Because if they had the courage to walk away the first time, you got to continue to hold on to that courage. You have to go forward, because once you go back, you've lost that initial courage, and the chances of that person, you know, going on to another path, like I said, is low. And unfortunately, you know, from the reading that I've been doing, a lot of them end up, you know, dead, you know. So it's not a good thing. And same thing with a career. If you put this in a career and you're so miserable with your job day in and day out, I mean, you cry in the morning because you don't want to go to work, right? And you're so miserable. Things you have to do is so miserable, and yet you go back, and then all of a sudden you're given an opportunity for another job. And then you start second guessing yourself. Why? Because it's change, and change is scary. But you have to take that chance, because if you're that miserable on the path that you're on, you need to move on for your own selves, for your mental health, and save your soul. Okay? So that's what I get. I'm getting a lot more out of this card. I mean, it's more coming, but you know, I want to show you guys my AM skincare. So let's do that. Okay, that's that. And I will now shift to our special report. Okay, let's get started. When I first start my morning routine, one thing I do all the time is I drink plenty of water. And as you notice, this is since I've woken up, which isn't long ago, and I've drank pretty much a lot. But hydration is just as important as skincare, okay? Because what you put in is just as important, if not more sometimes. So what I first do is I just took a shower, and I dry my face, and of course the rest of me, and I start with this, okay? This is my Paula's Choice. This is a toner, and the reason why I like this is because it's good for dry skin. It's good for any skin, but it doesn't dry you out. And you see how it comes out? It's kind of creamy, and I just rub it around, and I initially put it on my face, and I pat it in. And it's not a big deal with the toner if it doesn't completely dry, and I actually don't let it dry all the way up. I just tap just enough in to make sure that it's being absorbed. And it's up to you if you want to wait till it dries, but the toner part, it really works with everything else, right? It sets a foundation for the rest of your skincare. So I always start with a good toner. And I don't use toner that's drying, and there's a lot of good toners out there, but they tend to be drying. And one of the good ones is from Dermatology, but sometimes like in the winter time or when my skin feels a little parched, it is a little bit drying for me. So I always stick with this one here, because this is a replenishing product that says Advanced Replenishing Toner with Hyaluronic Acid, and it's true. And this actually starts your skin to plump. And it is more desirable actually if your skin is a little bit more moist, and right after you get out of the shower, then you put this on, because it does have hyaluronic acid, and it needs the fluid, the water, to actually attach to it, okay? And the next thing I do is vitamin C. I always use a vitamin C in the morning because it's an antioxidant actually, and not only it helps with the dark spots, but it also helps to fight free radicals. And this is the one I'm using currently. And I do use different ones, but this is my favorite one, and it is all fragrance free. All the stuff you see me using are fragrance free and cruelty free. And this is again by Paula's Choice. Now it's up to you how you put it on. I typically just kind of squeeze it on here, and I put dots all over my face. It is liquid, so you kind of have to tilt your head up, and then, or you can put it in your hands. And some people mix it in there. Moisturizer, but I don't advise that. I really don't, because you want to get the full strength of vitamin C, and vitamin C is pretty volatile. And so I just put it on like this, and then again I tap it in. And I'm doing this in real time, so you see how long it actually takes to do my skincare. Other than, of course, the last step, which is my sunscreen, and I do actually walk around to get my coffee and do all that stuff before I put on sunscreen. But yeah, this part here is in real time. And I really focus here. I come, you know, I try to, when I'm doing this, it's actually not just random. I'm tapping around in an order, and I do that I usually start at the top, and then I come to the eyes, especially where you get the crow's feet, right here where my 11s, my bunnies, and then I take my middle finger and I just tap it in and make sure I get even these parts of my nose, and move my way down, and I tap. And I usually go a little bit further, but I'm wearing a shirt for you guys, so I usually would take it all the way down my neck, okay? But I will go ahead and take it to this part. And now that I feel, and vitamin C, I'll tell you, a good one, okay, will feel a little bit tacky before it's totally dry. But I'm not gonna wait till the next step for that, because I don't need to. All of my skincare actually work together, and they don't fight each other as long as you're giving sufficient time for it to absorb a little bit. And the next thing I usually put is niacinamide, and this is by The Ordinary. I actually have an order by Paula's Choice, niacinamide, and I got it for free actually, because it is a little bit pricey, but it came free with what I ordered. And so I'm gonna give that a try, because as you notice, I'm almost, you know, out of this one, and I'll be out of it in no time. And now this one, I usually just squeeze and I put it into my hands like this, and I rub my hands together, and right away, I put it everywhere, including the insides of my, right here, okay? But keep your eyes closed, because these things will burn if you don't. And then again, you know what? Let me close the top. That's one thing I do. I always make sure I close the top of these, especially vitamin C, okay? And then let's see. I'm gonna tap. And I can feel my skin tightening as I do this actually. I physically feel it tighten, and you should too if you're doing this correctly. But it's tighten, not like a dry tightening, but firming, I should say. It's really a nice feeling. And then I follow that up actually with the Buffet by The Ordinary. Now there's nothing that I replace this with. This is pretty much my go-to peptides. These are multiple peptides. That's why they call it Buffet. It's a little bit cloudy than it's supposed to be. I just squeeze it in my hand just like I did niacinamide. Close that top really good, put it aside, rub my hands together again, all over my face, okay? And then like I said, I do go down here, but I do go down my neck, which I can't do right now. And I'm hoping that this video isn't all wonky, because I have it sitting on my tripod, and I'm doing this on my iPhone because I'm in a bathroom, okay? And then again, I tap it in. And at this point, it is not completely dry, but the tackiness has gone away from the vitamin C, because it's all being absorbed. And what I do next, and I have to order new because I'm completely out. I had to squeeze this out. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. And this is the Ordinary Caffeine Solution with ECGC. This actually helps to brighten your under eye area. Now this, you need to be really careful because it's going directly under your eye area, and you only need a little bit, okay? And I have, like, you see how much I have left of this? So what I usually do is I just put a small dot. You see how small of a dot? I put it under my eyes. The same thing with the other side. I hope I have a little dot, maybe not. Yep, I think that's it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because that's it, I have no more. And slide it under here, just enough of that. I'm glad I had a little bit. I use some of these products at night as well, and so I just kind of rub it in first, and then I close my eyes and I put it all over. Keep your eyes closed in this instance, and at this point I use my ring finger because I want to tap lightly, and I usually use my middle finger when I need to tap harder, okay, like here, and then I usually use my ring fingers, but it depends. Okay. And I have never had any bad experience where my eyes are burning or anything with any of the products I'm using. I've used these for quite a long time, okay? So yeah, and especially everything you're seeing here today, this is like my go-to stuff, my morning stuff. And then next, I like to add an extra serum, and that's because this is a little bit still not tacky or sticky, but it feels wet. And what I'd like to do is follow it up with the Omega Complex Serum, and this is with chia seeds and flaxseed. And this is for all skin, okay? And this actually, it sells out a lot at Paula's Choice site, but this is such a good serum. And again, this is an antioxidant to help fight free radicals, and this is very natural. And this is number 4, treatment. Another thing too, Paula's Choice stuff actually has what step you should use it. Right here, number 4. And so, this one I think should say number 5. Yeah, this is my sunscreen and a moisturizer, number 5. You see, so you don't have to worry. It does it for you. And I think the toner will say 2 because first, number 1 is actually cleansing. I don't know if you guys, I'm showing you that. I'm hoping so because I'm having a problem here. Okay. All right. So now, what I do with this is 2 pumps. Boom, boom, 2 pumps, that's it. And then I cap it, put it aside, and I take this and I kind of run it like all over my face, little by little, like this. And then I put the rest like that. And oh, this serum is very nice. It's non-oily, that's what I love. Because when I put it during the day, I usually, if I'm going to work or something, I will put on makeup. I haven't been lately, but this helps actually settle everything in for me. And it doesn't feel oily, and I don't like things to feel oily because I like things absorbed. And then for the final time, I'm going to go ahead and tap this in. And I know you guys, this is so overdue, you guys, and I just didn't have the setup for it where I was before, but I don't right now either but at least it's doable. And I'm doing this, like I said, on my iPhone. Hopefully my video isn't wonky. If it is, I apologize in advance. There's probably a way to straighten it, but we'll check it out. It's funny because when I first started this morning, I forgot to put a cover. So I'm starting to talk to you, and I realize, I look in the camera, I'm like, oh, my shoulders. So I had to throw this on. Yeah, I don't normally look like this, you know, getting ready. So I do use my little holder though, my hairband. Okay, now, what I normally do at this point, and you don't have to because like I said, all of these products will work together. I go downstairs, I make my coffee, I walk around, drink some more water. And then when I'm done running around, I will go ahead and add my final step, which is number 5, which is a moisturizer. But the moisturizer I use is with SPF 50, okay? There you go. Let me hold that up for you. Again, Paula's Choice. And this is the Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid. And as I explained to you before, this is my go-to. And I know, I was using the other things. I promise you I did. And 2 days ago, I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm like, okay. Because a lot of the sunscreens that I've experienced doesn't have the hydration that Paula's Choice does. And that's one thing, one feedback I'm going to give to you when I do my end of the summer sunscreen review, right? Is that this actually has hydration. And what I like about this hydration is this is actually made for normal to oily skin. And it's not oily. It actually gets absorbed really quickly. And I'm going to show you. And this is SPF 50. So what I do is I squeeze a little on my finger. I put it on my forehead. And you guys remember, sunscreen, in order for it to be effective, you got to put about a teaspoon at least, right? And I usually put on more throughout the day. And so I'll put this on and I just rub it in. And you know how some makeup will pill? That is my pet peeve, guys. If it pills, that's it. I don't have patience for that. It goes directly in the garbage. And this, you saw what I just put on, all of the products. And it's not pilling at all. So I love the combination. And I work really hard to get the correct combination, because it does pill with some of the other sunscreens. And even though they're good sunscreen in itself, if I'm not using all of this, you definitely have to wait minimum 20 minutes. Otherwise it will pill. But where with this one, it's no problem. Unless of course you're using a serum sunscreen, which is an advantage. But it does tend to be a little bit oilier than a regular sunscreen. It does not set as well if you're putting makeup on right away. But if you're running around the house and planning on not putting on makeup, serums are perfect. Okay. And I want to make sure I get every part. And another thing, you see how close I come to my eyes, because my eyelids need a sunscreen protection too, probably more than anywhere else, because it's so thin and it's very sensitive, right? So it is prone to burn. And so I go ahead and put it on and it does not burn at all. This thing here has never burned me. I'm sure if I open my eyes and squirt it in there, it will burn. But I mean, other sunscreens, I had experiences that, I mean, I love the sunscreen, but guys, oh my God, even if I don't put it even close as I did with that, I can start feeling it burning, not from here, but from outside, because, you know, I'm really careful to get good sunscreen on. So yeah, and all of this, and I just kind of rub my hands because I have all that great product. And you know, maybe that's why my hands look like this. People are like, you know, people show age in their hands, but you don't. Well, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So anyway, so that's that. So let me give you a real quick rundown. Step number 1, cleanse my face. Step number 2, tone with a nice alcohol-free, fragrance-free toner. And number 2, vitamin C. Give it a boost, give your skin a boost. Fight them antioxidants, fight them free radicals with antioxidants. Then I go with niacinamide, okay, which helps with the dark spots. And it is good anti-aging product. And then the buffet, which is multi-peptide, again, fighting free radicals, as well as working on your underneath your skin, helping your skin to build and become younger looking, appearing. And then what I do is I go in with my ECGC focused in my eye area. Okay, again, I'm completely out of it. This will be in my empties. And finally, I top it off with this Paula's Choice Omega what is it? Complex, Omega Complex, serum. And I top it off with that. Followed by my trusty old sunscreen. Okay, now back to regular programming. Okay, welcome back, you guys. So what did you think? And it seems pretty simple, and it is very simple. The hardest part about the AM skincare is getting up on time and being really regular with it. I don't miss a morning, to be honest with you. Even if I'm running a little late, I will still do my skincare because it's important to me. And as you notice, I did that in real time and I didn't cut anything out of it. So you can see it doesn't take all that long, okay? And it really doesn't. And you are worth it. So you need to take the time to do the skincare. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but I'm just sharing with you what I do, okay? And another thing I mentioned is that water. Make sure you get a lot of water in you throughout the day because it's so important for your skin. And I know when I haven't gotten enough water because then I start getting really flaky and I start getting dry. Even my eyeballs feel dry when I don't get enough water. And another thing as well, you have to eat well. And I think maybe sometime soon I'll share with you my morning routine, which includes my eating, me rolling out of bed, brushing my teeth, washing my face, and doing everything and eating, making my coffee. And I'll figure out somehow to do that because that's kind of hard to record when, you know, I'm doing this by myself. But let me see if I can work that out for you because my morning breakfast usually is a cup of coffee, a whole milk, vanilla, organic yogurt, okay, and no sugar added or anything like that, and a cup of berries, usually blackberry and blueberry mixed with maybe sometimes I'll add in strawberries if it's good, and a sprinkle of granola on top. And that's my breakfast, okay? And you just have to make sure you have to eat healthy, guys. You can't be going out there going to McDonald's and Taco Bell and, you know, Church's Chicken or Popeye's Chicken, wherever you are, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and expect your skin to do well because it's not going to. And please don't be fooled by, you know, the foods that's out there that says the healthy alternative, and usually they're not. And so remember, skincare is not just what you put on your skin, but it's also what you put inside, okay? Alrighty, my beautiful wildflowers, I hope you enjoyed it. If I added any value, please hit like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button, ringing the bell, and selecting all so you know every time I upload a new video. And just to add a little bit of commercial break here, there is a 800 Beautiful Wildflower giveaway going on right now. And I did do a sneak peek on Saturday, which should be yesterday. And so take a look at that, which will lead you to the video with the giveaway rules, okay? Alrighty, my beautiful wildflowers. I want you to have a good day, a good night, a good week, or good weekend. Whenever you're watching this, it does not matter. But just remember, in a field of roses, be a wildflower and never sweat the small stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.